This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Are you sure there's nothing I can do to change your mind?
No. I'm so grateful for the mentorship and support you've given me over the past year, but
But Gary? Really? Gary, the guy who wears tube socks with sandals.
The philanthropic work that he's funding to preserve dying cultures is absolutely essential. Not all heroes wear capes.
And tripling your current salary probably didn't hurt either.
Quadrupling, but who's counting?
Okay, well, I'm happy for you. I mean, not really. I hope he's as good a boss as I was.
I have to run, but I did want to mention one last thing. Hear me out, okay?
Yeah, of course.
I heard through the grapevine that you're writing a book about Antera.
Who told you? Was it Sanvi?
I've never met Sanvi. My cousin works at your publisher.
Well, that's not fucking cool. You're gonna have to throw her in the gulag.
This isn't funny. You're aware how dangerous this is, right? Right? You have a responsibility to safeguard.
My responsibility is to add to the library of human knowledge, right? I am here, I exist to discover and analyze and make cogent the fragments of history in order to further our collective understanding of the origins of the human mind.
Hai Rong is dead.
What?
She's dead. The funeral's in Vancouver on Tuesday.
I'm so sorry, Raquel. I know you two were close.
We weren't together anymore or anything, but
What happened?
her sister told me it was a mugging gone wrong. I think that's total bullshit, but before I left for the island, she said she was scared. And I don't know why or of what, but she was scared.
She was a brilliant student, and she seemed like a really nice person. But her death has nothing to do with this book.
Really? You don't think that it's all connected? The ritual, Deva Engstrom's death, the island, Hai Rong, me being put away in a mental institution. I mean...
Look, I don't mean to sound dismissive, but are you taking your meds? I mean, grief is powerful.
Seriously?
I'm sorry. Yes, there are some weird circumstances around this stuff here at Harbridge, but that's all it is, circumstantial. Meanwhile, we did some profound work on Antera, and that's why a book is what's needed. We have to open this discussion up to the rest of the world, Raquel.
How much did you have to drink today?
That's not relevant.
Look, I'm calling because Gary's concerned about the book. I'm trying to look out for you.
Well, I didn't fucking ask you to do that.
Of course you didn't, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Then stop, okay? You've got Gary to worry about now.
If I don't give a shit about you, who will? Your wife? Jules? Sorry. I'm sorry, I should not have said that.
Look, you know that June couldn't turn down that position in Beijing. And Jules, well, I'm working on it.
I'm sorry. Really,
Look, it's time for class. Tell Gary that I'm writing the fucking book. If he wants an autographed copy, I'll sell him one for $6 million. I gotta go. Modes of Thought in Antaran Literature. Second Year Classics, Harbridge University. Okay, happy Friday, everybody. Everybody loves this lecture, let me tell you. So, hold on to your vape pens, because today we're going to explore what is a pretty intricate relationship between psychoactive substances, and religious practices across ancient civilizations. Sometimes this is considered a controversial subject. Some of the academics who get into it are less data-driven, maybe, than others. But it really does offer profound insights into various cultural practices across the centuries. And, of course, we'll speculate about Antera. So, don't tell your parents that we're talking about this. As far as some of the bigger swings that have been made to relate human history to psychoactive substances, has anyone heard of the stoned ape theory? No? Okay. This is fun. The ethnobotanist Terence McKenna believed, along with his brother, actually, Dennis, they believed that the consumption of psychedelic mushrooms played a critical role in the evolution of human consciousness. Okay, according to McKenna, early hominids in Africa, particularly during the transition from Homo erectus to Homo sapiens, may have encountered and consumed psilocybin, magic mushrooms, which grew naturally in that environment. Their theory posits that the psychoactive effects of the mushrooms, the enhanced visual acuity, increased social bonding, heightened creativity, these could have provided selective advantages, accelerating cognitive development. McKenna argued that these experiences may have contributed to the development of language, art, complex social structures, ultimately leading to the rapid expansion of human consciousness. The theory is very speculative and it lacks direct evidence. It's literally based on the idea that there were Homo erectus, there were cows, therefore cow poop, and there were mushrooms all around at the same time. So, but it's still fascinating. And it's a leap, but it's an interesting leap. The idea that mind-altering substances could have influenced our cognitive and cultural development in a way that actually accelerated us to move up the evolutionary ladder. Yeah, thanks, Rahul, for providing that proof that evolution can, in fact, backslide. Okay, now, what does the historical record tell us? Well, wine was first fermented in the Caucasus around 6000 BCE. We have the Sumerians brewing beer in 3000 BCE. In the Americas, the Aztecs produced this stuff called pulque from agave plants, the same ones we use to make tequila. And the Incas crafted a beer made from corn. I think it's called chicha. I'm probably saying that wrong. The first archaeological evidence for alcohol consumption dates back to around 7000 to 6600 BCE, so almost 9,000 years ago, in the Neolithic village of Jiahu. I'm saying that wrong. Jiahu. In China. Researchers discovered ceramic jars there containing residues of a fermented beverage made from a mixture of rice, honey, and fruit. And that's, the earliest known instance of intentionally brewed alcohol. So, people have been using mind-altering substances. I include alcohol in mind-altering substances for a very long time. That discovery not only highlights this early human capacity for creating and drinking alcoholic drinks, but it also suggests that alcohol may have played a significant role in the social and ritualistic practices of early agricultural communities, perhaps even motivating the development of early agricultural economies. Right? If I have wine, you want it, right? In ancient China, alcohol was deeply intertwined with power and authority and social hierarchy. In fact, the use and misuse of alcohol became a lens through which the past was judged. So while rule-bound drinking was an integral part of social life in certain social strata, it also played a crucial role in sacrificial rituals, serving as a key practice to appease the spirit world. So, social context and a religious context. Early Chinese writers frequently evaluated past rulers and their regimes based on their approach to alcohol and ritualized drinking. Moderation in drinking was seen as a sign of a healthy and virtuous regime, while excess and overindulgence were markers of bad governance. It kind of reminds us of Rome. Certainly, that's not always the case. I think we all know that Hitler didn't drink and was vegan and believed in this sort of clean living. So, yeah, not always the case, but here that was a lens through which ancient Chinese writers considered their own past. This contrast between overindulgent rulers and sages who were praised for their mastery of moderate consumption is a recurring theme throughout early Chinese texts, from Zhou bronze inscriptions to Han Dynasty memorials. The complex relationship between alcohol and power in ancient China highlights how alcohol is not merely a substance that was used as kind of a social lubricant, like they're not just drinking and hanging out in bars. It's a critical tool in the maintenance and demonstration of authority. So, interesting. What? Okay, yeah, from the famous Eleusinian mysteries. Has anyone here heard of the Greek mystery cults? Yeah, what I thought. Kind of the place where you would hear about that. Okay, so considered amongst the most significant and spiritual rituals of the ancient world, the Greek mystery cult rituals and religious rites were dedicated to the goddesses Demeter and Persephone, promising the initiates a deeper understanding of existence and a profound connection with the divine. Now, a key aspect of the mysteries was the consumption of a sacred beverage known as kykeon. The exact composition of this beverage is, of course, unknown, but it was believed to be hallucinogenic. Some scholars posit that early Christian rituals were influenced by the mystery cults, and that early Christians used a similar substance in Eucharistic ceremonies to achieve a direct and transformative experience of God. So again, there's another big swing here, to associate the ritual of the Eucharist in Christianity with the use of psychedelic substances. But hey, go big or go home. I want to name the guy who came up with this theory, but I don't have it with me, and I'm going to say it wrong. Morescu, or I'll put it on the website. So anyway, he posited that psychedelics spur a God encounter experience, where once you've taken some sort of psychoactive substance, you can communicate with something that seems to have the attributes of being conscious and benevolent, intelligent, sacred, eternal, and omniscient. In other words, when people get high enough, they think they talk to God. Evidence that the early Christians used psychedelics is very scant. There are trace amounts of ergot that were discovered in chalices recovered from 1st century CE temple called Mas Castelar des Pontos in Girona, Spain. Ergot, in case you aren't familiar, is a naturally occurring fungus that grows on rye and other cereals. And it contains alkaloids that can produce pretty powerful hallucinogenic effects when ingested. It can also be fatal if you take too much. In fact, ancient cultures all over the world incorporated psychoactive substances into religious rites, believing these substances facilitated a communion with the divine. In ancient Mesoamerica, we have the Maya and Aztecs. Both used hallucinogenic mushrooms. I can't pronounce their word for it, but the translation I love, it's flesh of the gods. Again, kind of going back to the Eucharist, which is the body of Christ, right? In rituals that were believed to connect them with their deities and their ancestors. The Aztecs also consumed peyote, a cactus containing mescaline, during ceremonies to induce visions and receive guidance from the spirit realm. In South America, the indigenous peoples of the Amazon basin used ayahuasca, powerful brew made from, and I'm going to butcher this too, the Banisteriopsis caapi vine, and some other plants. Anyway, ayahuasca, you've probably heard of it. It's something that you drink, and it was used as a sacrament in shamanic rituals. Ayahuasca was believed to enable shamans to journey into the spirit world, where they could diagnose illnesses, seek knowledge from the spirits, etc. Similarly, in the Andes, the San Pedro cactus, which also contains mescaline, was used in religious ceremonies for its visionary properties, helping practitioners connect with the gods again and perform healing rituals. And this goes all the way to Siberia. The indigenous shamans used the Amanita muscaria mushrooms, known for their psychoactive properties, in various rituals to induce altered states of consciousness. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get there. So, okay. Let's dig into the use of psychoactives in Antera. Not surprisingly, we don't have much physical evidence of anything, but we can infer a few things from what we've discovered so far. In the center of Temple 3, the 9-sided structure at the north end of Prime A, there is a well that has been carved on the inside with a pattern of eyes. And it's thought that these are the 1,000 eyes of Ikopa, right? Around the rim is inscribed, "In Matoka, the sweetness of breath awakens the inner eye to ecstasy." You can compare this to a similar temple in Prime B. It's Temple B2, also a nonagonal structure, but in B2 there's no well. Instead, there's a pyramid-like sort of altar structure. We do know that in the Third Empire, the Ratak ritual changed, right? We've discussed this much. But, how did it change? And were these substances part of that? I got a theory. Anybody else want to take a stab? Yeah? Okay, that's actually impressive. Yes, ethylene is what I suspect as well. 100 points for Gryffindor on that one. Classical sources described the Pythia, the priestess who delivered the prophecies at the Oracle of Delphi. This priestess was seen as entering a trance-like state by inhaling the vapors rising from a chasm beneath the temple. For centuries, scholars dismissed these accounts as just legend, unable to find geological evidence supporting the presence of such vapors. However, in the 90s, a team of scientists made a really cool discovery. They found that there were two major fault lines that intersected precisely under the site of the temple, creating a pathway for gases to rise from deep within the earth. Subsequent analysis revealed traces of ethylene, which is a sweet-smelling gas known to induce an altered state of consciousness. I think this is like, huffing spray paint, perhaps, but still. Yes, so this was found in these trace amounts were found in the spring waters near the temple. This finding has not only corroborated the ancient testimonies, right, but also provided a scientific explanation for Pythia's legendary trance states of its priestesses. And it demonstrates once again that the ancient accounts often contain these kernels of truth waiting to be uncovered. What is the sweetness of gas in the Prime A temple? Was it ethylene gas? As a matter of fact, ethylene was used as an anesthetic early in the 20th century, and breathing in the gas would not only bring the participants of the ritual to a sort of ecstatic state, but could also act as an anesthetic. Why would that be useful for Antera? Perhaps the ritual in which they all collectively cut off a finger, right? So what is the lack of a well, in Prime B? What does that mean? So that's what I want to ask you guys. Your next assignment is going to be, what inference can you draw about this collective that started a new city, having left Prime A at the beginning of Third Empire, and brought with them the rituals of Antera, and yet modified them in such a way that a well is not present in the temple in Prime B. Cite your sources. Let me know about what evidence you want to bring to the table, and of course look at other cultures and see what's been done in the past. Just one last thought. There was a Swiss physician and a botanist, Paracelsus, and he wrote in the 1500s, "Poison is in everything, and no thing is without poison. The dosage makes it either a poison or a remedy." So, as you set off on your holiday excursions, just remember, everything in moderation, folks. Okay? Thank you very much. And I'll see you after the holiday. You good, Sandy? Great. Modes of Thought in Antaran Literature. This podcast is made possible by Harvard University, a grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Peeler Prize in Archaeological Literature, and the Harbridge Family Trust, with an in-kind donation and production assistance from Wolf at the Door Studios. For more information and course materials, please visit Wolf at the Door's website at wlfdr.com.
the Fable and Folly Network, where fiction producers flourish.
Hello! Contact Day is in but a few short months, which means it is time to begin preparations for the Bidecennial Festival. This year, we are celebrating every single one of you living in my beloved Windfall City.
It is not our business to question the Queen's will. It is not our business to do anything but follow it.
It is you and your loyalty that has laid the groundwork for this incredible utopian society that we seek for.
Do you have any idea what's going on with us?
It is the duty of each and every one of you to do everything you can to make the festival a success this year.
Are you ready to speak kindly with me now, child?
I have no doubt that this year will be one for the history books, and that will be due in no small part to the dedication of my adoring subjects.
Windfall, a dystopian science fiction podcast from Rogue Dialogue.